know. Dig this.
Good morning, everyone. We're about to begin.
Something to hug in sometimes. You need to be warm and be sheltered from the storm. Oh, babe. Oh, baby. Hey. See. Oh, baby. Oh, lady. How is your honeymoon, baby? Is it okay? Got your letter through the post just yesterday. I'm kind of doing fine on my own, though I'm longing ever so much to be home. You need a little loving, ooh, babe. You need a little loving sometimes. Try something to hug in.
Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you in the room with us this morning. My name is Donique Smith, and I'll be your MC for this morning. You are in attendance to our secondary school guidance counselor symposium. We are so excited to have you with us this morning and to be a part of this exciting initiative put on by the Office of Student Affairs. Can you give them a round of applause, please? Thank you so much for joining us this early in the morning. We know that we are a little far, and so thank you for taking the time to be here in person. And for those watching online, we want to welcome you as well. We are so sad that you couldn't make it in person because you will miss our exciting campus tour, which will be coming up later in our program. At this time, we just want to make welcome the presence of the Lord in our midst, and so I ask you to bow your heads with me. Lord, we thank you for bringing us together. We thank you for this initiative. We pray that, Lord, whatever we do today will be done in accordance to your glory and your will. In Jesus' name, amen. So at this time, because we are off to a late start, we are going to invite our university president, Professor Andrew Spencer, and he will bring to you his remarks. Please make him welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Caribbean Maritime University. For those of you whose first time it is, we extend to you the warmest of welcomes. If you've been here before, and if you've seen us before, then we still welcome you back home. My distinct pleasure today is to give you some opening remarks. Initially, I came to do a full-blown presentation until I discovered that there are faculties and capable individuals, heads of our divisions and units, who will get into the details. In fact, I had some videos to share, but I also understand, and much to the dismay of those online, but we can tell you where to find it, that there's a campus tour, and therefore I would not want to be redundant in presenting a video that individuals will then see firsthand. So we want to welcome you. I wanted to start by sharing with you, first of all, a little bit about me in 30 seconds. So my background is that I've spent some time at a number of universities. Jamaica has 3 public universities, and I've engaged with them all. And one of the things I've come to understand, having been a part of the development of our other 2 government friends, is that the CMU brings a particular uniqueness to the higher education landscape. And that is really born out of our need to be industry connected in a way that others are not. And we do this in a very practical way. We connect directly with industry. Industry informs our curriculum. Industry informs a lot of what we do in terms of how we structure the overall programs. In fact, many of our programs were born out of names to do with government departments and private sector entities, and we've evolved over the years. And I want to share a little of that evolution with you. We began in 1980, and I want to fast track the history lesson today to taking you to 2017. Many things happened. We moved from being the Jamaica Maritime Training Institute to becoming more Caribbean focused, where we became the Caribbean Maritime Institute. And a very glorious year in 2017 where our university status was approved by Parliament and Cabinet, and we have become the only maritime university in the Caribbean since then. Now I want to make a few other bold statements. We're not only the only maritime university in the Caribbean, we are the largest maritime training institution in the Caribbean. We are also the only maritime entity that can claim to have our very well-endowed Festo Center, which you'll learn more about in a little while. We also have the best technologies in all of Jamaica and the Caribbean, and I say that without fear of contradiction. You can check that out. You can fact check that by doing a tour of another space, and you will understand that we are right at the forefront of what the new revolution entails. So ladies and gentlemen, here we are, 2017 university status. We've grown significantly. There are those in the room who will tell you that we have grown from having 30 students at inception to over 3,000 students on average. That's massive growth and development. And that growth and development has come through a very strong and dynamic vision that we have, which really is that we want to be the maritime university of choice for global leaders, and we're well on our way. Certainly we've conquered the Caribbean. Additionally, our mission is that we are redefining maritime excellence through a number of key pillars. We believe that certainly no university can do well without having strong educational programs. That's the core of your business. We also believe that research, and in our case applied research, is how we will service our key stakeholders in ways that are meaningful. And of course, I mentioned to you before the fact that we are innovators, not only technologically, but we are product innovators. We are innovators in terms of pedagogy, and we are always going to be connected to what the next wave of expectations of industry will be. Sam Sharp Teachers College for our presence in Montego Bay. ourselves on doing not more of the same, but that which is different and that which is uniquely important to our development. I like to refer to them as the Innovation Hub. I like to think of our Marine and Nautical Studies faculty, and I call them the heart of who we are. They are what makes us fundamentally unique. They are the reason for our existence, because that is the space that we service primarily. And then I like to talk about our Faculty of Shipping and Logistics as the faculty that allows us to have reach. So not only reach in terms of breadth, but in terms of the depth of what we do. Has the largest number of programs, largest number of students, and again, services the largest market. Again, I said we're going to skip all of this, the videos and the like, because somebody change that for me, please. Yes, and those are the list of programs, which again, you will hear from the faculty leaders. Where I want to take you is our partnerships. And so if anybody has a hand on these slides, they will take it to the partnerships for me. So what I want to say to you about our partnership approach is that we have what is called our SGI strategy. And we want that to get out there to Jamaica, the Caribbean, and the world, that we're focused on stability, growth, and innovation at every turn. Everything we do fits the frame of stabilizing, growing in a responsible and sustained way, and ensuring that we are innovative in all that we do. And that means that we have to have partnership engagements that are meaningful. So we're not in the business at the Caribbean Maritime University of signing any MOU or MOA or any agreement of any kind that is intended for optics or simply for the purpose of symbolism. We sign partnerships that are meaningful not only to us as an institution, but to our students and to the people that we serve. We go in to these partnerships with a clear vision of what we offer and with a clear vision of what will be given to us. So I just wanted to share a few of our partnerships with you. Many of them are academic, some of them are industry, some of them are local, some of them are regional, and some of them are international. We have partnerships with a number of universities out of the United States. But very importantly, we just signed an MOU with the University of Guyana. So CMU is always at the forefront of what's happening. With all that's happening in Guyana, a lot of the technical skills required could not be provided in Guyana, and therefore we thought it was necessary for us to have a presence in that space. We were welcomed with open arms. And so a number of advanced programs are about to be rolled out, one in liquefied petroleum operation, one in chemical tanker operation, and other things. I'm trying not to get too much into the weeds of the programs because, again, we have those who will come to share those with you. The Sir Arthur Lewis College in St. Lucia. So there are a number of ways in which you can expand. The model could be that we try to fit everyone onto our 4 campus locations, or we can take an outward-looking approach where we find spaces where there's an interest, partner with institutions, and have a presence there. So the Sir Arthur Lewis College is ready to roll out 2+2 programs with us in engineering as well as in shipping and logistics. We are excited for that. The same for the Antigua State College. And we're having a number of conversations as well in other in other countries in the Eastern Caribbean about how we can get a footprint in those locations. Now, I must point out that our footprint is not going to be limited necessarily to university-type entities, because we believe that some of the community college technical training spaces are a good fit for us as well. So the MATPAL Institute as well in Guyana, the Nigeria National Maritime University, and a very interesting one we signed recently was with the Olusegun Agago University of Science and Technology, where we had that signing at our industry conference. An exciting time that was for us. Again, 2+2 articulations, and more of these to come out of China with our pending partnership with the Shanghai Maritime University, one of the leading maritime universities of the world. Just to share a little bit with you as well about some other partnerships, industry-related. Carnival. We started a partnership with Carnival Cruise Lines. And that partnership has evolved to not just Carnival Cruise Lines, but Carnival Corporation, where all 9 brands under the Carnival banner have indicated a desire to partner in a number of ways. Recently, our students toured one of their ships, but that's only scratching the surface, because the purpose of our partnerships, the purpose of our industry partnerships, is to plot a path for students coming in. Your students coming from your schools can understand that on day 1 when they arrive, their prospects of a job 4 years later are higher than the prospects of a job going to any other degreed institution. And that's really the point of the partnerships. So you don't have to have the anxiety as a student, what will happen when I'm finished? What's going to happen? Am I going to be unemployed for 3-4 years? In fact, our latest Tracer study tells us that 80% of our graduates get placed in jobs within 3 to 6 months after graduation. That's a massive, massive statistic. So again, just listing a number of the partners, the Kingston Freeport Terminal Limited, we just signed with German Ship Repair Jamaica, which is going to yield a lot of fruit for disenfranchised youth throughout Jamaica. We're planning to transform communities, not just within these 4 walls, but we're going into the communities and unearthing talent that can be certified and that can be empowered. And that's a part of what we do. So, all in all, ladies and gentlemen, the point of sharing this is to say that the CMU is a reputable institution doing the right things at the right time in the right places. And this has been validated by, or if you go back to the validation slide just before this, this has been validated by a number of places where we have received accreditation and recognition. So I want to point them out just very quickly. Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport out of the UK. Our membership is solid there. Accreditation Services for International Colleges and Universities, again, UK, solid in that space. The University Council of Jamaica, solid in that space, as well as other areas of professional recognition. We are not only credible, but we are understood to be potable, and that our legitimacy has never been questioned because of the quality of our programs, the quality of our graduates, and all of that is as a result of the quality of our people, the wonderful and amazing individuals that you see around this room who make it happen every day and every year. So in closing, we are fun too. A lot of the things that our students engage in end up being not only rewarding, but enjoyable. And I want to point to the fact that these enjoyable things are not just enjoyable without tangible rewards at the end. An example of a student who graduated from the CMU recently, one of our top students, who decided he did not want to pursue the path of going to work for larger vessels and decided he was going into yachting. He travels the world, has fun, has good time off. He makes, can I tell them what he makes? I think I should hint. He earns in the range of anywhere between 7,000 to 11,000 US dollars per month. I'm making this point because not only are our people walking into jobs, but they're walking into respectable jobs where there's not only dignity, but there are opportunities for uplifting their entire families. That is one example, and there are many others, I will tell you, that have shared with us the joy of their success. And listen, it's not all about being at sea. We service manufacturing, we service energy and power companies. And very importantly, even for those who go to sea, they may determine they don't want to do it forever. And then they come back and they're ushered into high-level jobs because of the experience they've had on the seas. So ladies and gentlemen, I've gone on much longer than I intended to, but this is my excitement, this is my joy for engaging you today. And guidance counselors are at the heart of what we do. You provide advice, you point them in the right direction based on their needs, based on their interests. And we would like to indicate to you today that the Caribbean Maritime University, for many of them, is the right direction. So I thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof, for that exciting presentation. Now, as you can see, he didn't go in depth because we are going to jump into our faculty presentations, right? But I know you're already curious. I know you're already, teetering on the edge to find out what more does the CMU offer. So at this time, we are going to jump into our faculty presentations, and we are going to start with the Faculty of Marine and Nautical Studies, which, Prof mentioned is the heart and soul of what we do here at the CMU. So at this time, we're going to welcome the Dean of the Faculty, Captain Devron Newman.
Pleasant morning, everyone. I'd like to record my own special welcome to the guidance counselors from all the schools that are present here today. And of course, our president has created a very good impression already of what it is that we have to offer. And we trust that at the end of this, your experience today, you'll be able to help the students to navigate into their future. We're starting with our core courses in marine and transportation. This slide shows us the key subjects that are covered in marine transportation. I'll not go through all of the subjects, but the unique ones would be, of course, navigation, ship construction and stability, watchkeeping, maritime legislation, electronic navigation systems, magnetic and gyro compasses. For marine engineering, which is another of our major courses on offer, marine diesel engine, electronics engineering, we have mechanics, fluid mechanics, electrical engineering. Ship construction and stability is a common course for marine transportation and marine engineering. Workshop processes and practices, and also refrigeration and air conditioning. What are some of our supporting knowledge subjects? Because, of course, we have to bolster the specialized courses with support from mathematics. We have thermodynamics, engineering, drawing, and design for the marine engineers, mechanical engineering science, computer applications, industrial chemistry. Now, these courses will provide support to the specialized courses because a lot of the concepts in some of those specialized courses rely on the foundation knowledge that is required. Electives. Because we're offering a degree program, we also have to offer electives as required by the University Council of Jamaica. So what we have on offer in our faculty is Spanish or French, and port operations or logistics and supply chain management. I want to focus a little on the cadet selection process. Our president mentioned that, of course, the Faculty of Marine and Nautical Studies is the center of the university, and our selection process is a little different. It's unique, and that is what also makes us special. We want to ensure that we're able to prepare our cadets for the work environment, and because sailing at sea is so unique, we need to have this kind of preparation for our candidates. So we have a written academic entrance test, physical assessment to make sure that throughout the course we are able to perform all the physical training activities to prepare the cadets to function on board. We visited a carnival vessel last week in Ocho Rios, and a number of staff and students were exhausted after physically climbing about 8 decks. They were exhausted. So in the international convention that we have that governs our training, it's a requirement that everybody working on board has to be physically fit. We're also requiring them to participate in a medical examination, a psychometric evaluation. We also interview the candidates, and there's a 2-week mandatory indoctrination training. And of course, registration follows that. Just a little on the physical assessment, what is actually done. It comprises of a 100-meter run, 800 meters run as well, 45 push-ups for the males, and 15 push-ups for the females. This is just to get them in shape for what is left to come. We also have a 2-week indoctrination, which exposes the cadets to drills to get them accustomed to what it is that they have to attend to on a daily basis. We have a morning formation, a morning parade. They do physical training 3 days per week. There's naval etiquette, time management, discipline regulations that we go through with them to make sure they understand what are the contents of the discipline regulations, and also what they can expect academically. Our teaching and learning facilities, some of the things that we have available to facilitate the process. We have a navigation bridge simulator. We have a high voltage simulator, which is a specialized simulator for marine engineering officers. Our president spoke about the FESTA Authorized Certified Training Fact Center, which is located downstairs. We have an engineering workshop and a seamanship lab, and of course the computer lab for computer-aided drawing. These are just some pictures of the two simulators. We can see the cadets, who are in the engine room simulator and on the bridge. So our cadet activities, daily formation, which begins at 7:40. So unlike the rest of the school, the cadets have to be here early so that they can attend to this activity. I mentioned the physical training already, which is 3 days per week. And there's a monthly physical assessment to see what kind of progress the cadets are making. And there's a disciplinary committee hearings for people who fall out of line. There's a committee made up of officers within the ranks of the cadet program that will hear their cases and decide whether they should be sanctioned or not. They are also allowed to participate in clubs and societies. And there's an annual cadet ball, which occurs in December, so they can let their hair down and they can have a good time. And there's also an annual cadet fun day. This will be maybe of more interest to the guidance counselors. So what I did, I prepared some information on the careers, just some of them, some of the more important ones. So we have for deck only, which is for the students who would have pursued navigation, there's a deck officer. Essentially, the deck officer or the navigation officer, he works on board the ship and he provides support to the captain and the other senior officers. So he's assisting with planning a voyage, which a voyage is going from Miami to Ocho Rios, for example. Manage the movement of the ship to make sure the ship is not running aground, for example, or colliding with another vessel. Perform collision avoidance. Participating in managing the loading and discharging and also the care of the cargo. So when we receive the cargoes on board, we have to ensure that they're placed in the correct location according to a cargo plan, and to make sure that they are discharged at the correct port, and during the voyage that they're also being taken care of. Maintain life-saving appliances. We have some life-saving appliances on display outside that you'll be able to look at. So we have to take care of the fire extinguishers, the lifeboat, and the equipment that are in the lifeboat. Assist the captain with preparation of documents for entering port. So when the ship is arriving in port, the captain has to prepare quite a lot of documentation. So part of the development and training of the officer would be to expose him in how it is, him or her, what it is that they do to prepare these documents. Assist with preparing the ship for inspections. Of course, we have quite a lot of inspections on board, so we have to make sure that the officers are participating in ensuring that the ship is ready for a survey or inspection. And submit reports on inspections, navigation instruments, incidents, or accidents. Marine pilot. A marine pilot basically is based on land, but the marine pilot provides assistance and guidance to ships that are entering and leaving ports. So he will advise the captain when and how to proceed to a designated anchorage. If the ship is not able to go into port, then the ship has to go to an anchorage. Advise the captain on dangers, limitations, and safety when arriving or departing from a port, or on maneuvering characteristics to get the ship safely at the berth. Marine surveyor is another very rewarding career. Plan and supervise the construction of vessels,
negotiate and agree on project budgets, time scales and specifications with clients, produce detailed designs of ships using drawings and specialist computer software, ensure adherence to appropriate health and safety standards, I'll just skip a few of them in the interest of time, and to provide technical assistance in general. Maritime lecturer, well, we have openings also for some of our officers that are interested in teaching, and basically they are participating in the delivery of core and specialized courses, reviewing courses, attending training and development seminars, setting and marking examinations, interview new cadets or assist with that, keep abreast of emerging trends in the industry, and participate in research activities. Maritime inspector. So of course ships have to be inspected to ensure that they are seaworthy and they are able to perform the duties as they are designed. So we have quite a lot of standards, international standards and regulations that a ship needs to comply with. So a marine inspector would look at the condition of the ship, approve plans before vessel construction or modification and repairs, any retrofitting activities, responsible for checking safety, navigation, loading and unloading, and the mechanical systems, and may also be able, may be asked to give expert opinion on problems or defects observed during their inspections. What's going on here? A marine superintendent. He ensures the safe operations of ships and compliance to all international maritime requirements. Conduct regular ship inspections to ensure compliance to statutory requirements. Conducts pre-vetting inspection on board the ship and follow up. A pre-vetting exercise would be like for a tanker, where they have to check to make sure that the cargo space is safe to receive the cargo before loading can commence. And promotes and develops a culture of continuous improvement in pursuit of organizational objectives. Electrotechnical officer, it's very new. Our president hinted closely to something like that. And this is because this career option has evolved because the design and construction of ships are moving to more automation. So the traditional marine engineer will no longer exist in the future. It will be electrotechnical officers because everything will be computerized and fully automated. So that's a new and emerging and very exciting career pathway for the marine engineering students. So they are monitoring all onboard electronic and electrical equipment, maximizes the operational safety and efficiency of the vessel, practical troubleshooting, and coordinates all automation systems connected with propulsion, cargo handling, and safety. The marine engineer officer, which would be the parallel to the deck or navigation officer, design, construct, maintain, and repair a variety of cargo ships, cruise liners, and oil rigs, maintain a watch in port and at sea. A watch meaning that he's monitoring everything that is happening in the machinery space, whether the ship is at sea or if the ship is in port. Monitor main and auxiliary operating systems in the machinery space and submit reports on fuel consumption, spare parts, and engine performance. A little bit on the training of the cadet on board. So to become an officer, it's not just about academics, but also the cadet will have to serve 12 months at sea, mandatory. So cadets are placed on board ships according to their position on what we call a merit list. And this merit list is developed and based on 70% of their academic work, 23% of their discipline record and performance, and 7% of their physical assessment at the end of their studies. And that is expressed out of 100%. professional certification. So having completed the studies and you get your degree, you also need to get your certificate of competence, which is a license to operate on board a ship as an officer. So those exams have to be, they are administered by the Maritime Authority of Jamaica, and they have to complete the 12 months. They also have to pass an oral examination and complete a raft of specialized courses. So the journey is not easy for the trainee, but as the president said, when they become officers, then you heard those figures of 7,000 US dollars and upwards. Some of our onboard training partners our president would have mentioned, but I just want to state them again in terms of the training opportunities for our cadets. So we have ex-Mara Ship Management. They are operating liquefied petroleum gas carriers. We have Accelerate Energy. They are also operating liquefied natural gas carriers. We have New Fortress Energy, also LNG carriers. And we have Intership Navigation. They are operating dry bulk carriers where the vessels may carry corn in bulk, wheat, or rice. And we have Phoenix Bulk, popular vessel that you will see sometimes in Discovery Bay. They are transporting bauxite. And you heard about the cruise liners, which I think has caused our students to be very excited about going to work on a ship. So we have agreements with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines and Carnival. We have also smaller vessels, tugs that are operating the harbors, and these are used to assist large ships to get into their position in the port. So we have some cadets also working on that. We have petroleum product tankers that hire some of our trainees. And we have, it's futuristic, but we had a meeting with Stoll Tankers, and they have agreed to take 14 of our cadets. Our president did mention this also. This is very new. We recently signed an MOU with the German ship repair Jamaica, and we already have 4 of our graduates working there in Harborview. And I think this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Captain. Guidance counselors, what I want you to bear in mind is that at CMU we think outside of the box. So you might not hear the traditional careers coming out. What we do is we go into various different industries and we create. We are innovators, as Prof. Spencer said, so we create. So as you see from our Marine and Nautical Studies faculty, is that a lot of these careers that are emerging, you won't find anywhere else. So that's what we want to stress this morning. Now, before we jump into the other faculty presentation, I want to remind you to complete your registration form that is on the desk in front of you. If your name is not on it, please put your name on it. Exciting things will be coming to your emails. And also, we want to invite you back because you didn't get to see the cadets out front with the drums and the uniforms and the march. And we wanted to see that the next time you're here, all right? So please put your information down so that we can tell you when next you can come and see them in action, all right? Because I know you've seen them around the place with the white suit and the little hat and the, yeah, it's exciting, it's exciting. So we also want to remind you too that you are free to partake in the refreshments at the back of the room while the presentations are happening. All right, so Prof mentioned that we have the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, and that is the heart of our innovation here at the Caribbean Maritime University. So I'm going to invite the faculty to come and make their presentation at this time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Um, Good morning, especially to our guidance counselors who are here this morning with us. Really happy to have you here with us this morning. And I hope you will leave here with a lot more information and understanding of what the CMU actually has to offer. Don't worry, it will be sorted. It's a long program. While they're sorting out, what you're looking at is the Faculty of Shipping and Logistics. So while they're sorting that out, just to say that the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Technology, we pride ourselves on being innovators. We try not to stick with the status quo, but to do things that you wouldn't find necessarily in most of the universities within this region. And I'm just waiting on the presentation to be loaded. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the. All right, so this faculty spearheads engineering-led research-based academic activities geared towards a culture of applied research. The faculty also offers degrees in other areas such as marine, biotechnology, and artificial intelligence, and computer systems. So initially, what we offered was an Associate of Applied Sciences degree in Industrial Systems Operations and Maintenance, which was focusing on basic operations and maintenance of industrial systems. The program in 2007 was upgraded to a bachelor's degree in industrial systems. And the upper 2 years, we included mainly the designs section of the program because the lower level was really a technician-based program, but to get it up to an engineering level, where designs was a major part of what you do as an engineer there. The courses were designed to reflect that. The entire program is lasts for 4 years, and it covers the basic mechanical, electrical, and electronics, and some computer science built into it. The program did extremely well, and we were able to maintain over the years close to 100% placement after 6 months to a year after graduation. In some cases, all our students are placed before we even reach 6 months after graduation. Following up on that and looking at the direction in which the world is heading, and also being influenced to some extent by the partnership that we have with Festo out of Germany, we introduced 2 other engineering degrees, which is the one in mechatronics and industrial automation. The differences between these 2 and industrial systems is that they are a lot more computer-based. We have some amount of robotics built into those 2 programs. And especially the industrial automation, some amount of networking is also involved, because we look at things like remote operations of industrial systems. So we look at the computer networks that are required to link these systems together over long distances. They will get a brief introduction to things like satellite technology and or we transmit information between Earth station, ground station, fiber optics, go through all of that kind of communication stuff with the industrial automation students. The mechatronics students would focus heavily on how you integrate the electrical, the mechanical, and the electronics and computer science together to design as well as to manage industrial systems. All 3 programs have been doing very well so far. Some of the areas in which our graduates find employment after completing the programs. We have the marine and allied industries, which would include the ports. We have a lot of our graduates in those, on the wharf, the container terminals, so on. In mining, the bauxite industry, we have a lot of our graduates there. Manufacturing, right across all the different sectors. Power generation, in fact, we have about 80% of the technical staff at companies like JPP are CMU graduates. So that should give you an idea as to how involved our graduates are in that sector. A large number of our graduates are also at companies like JPS, New Fortress Energy, and you name it. In areas of industrial automation, in companies like Red Stripe, Jerry and Neville, Cinco, we have a number of our graduates in industrial automation there. They're also are trained in renewable energy. So a number of the renewable energy companies in Jamaica employ our graduates as well. Telecommunications, of course, and advanced mobile platforms. Let me say a little bit about that. CMU has been spearheading this area of drone research for some time now. And we have developed, actually designed and built custom drones for a number of companies in Jamaica, including the Prime Minister's office. We have also trained a number of drone pilots locally, and we have done a lot of aerial mapping for a number of companies in Jamaica as well. This initiative started somewhere around 2010 when we started to design underwater drones for security monitoring purposes. And we then take it up to aerial drones. And today we have a certain amount of capacity in-house in terms of the design and building of these mobile platforms. If you have been following the news a lot, all the major wars that have been fought now, drones are the most used weapons. And in fact, I remember some years ago when we started this, a lot of persons thought that, well, this was just for hobbyists. It's becoming a major part of our lives now. And so students who come to CMU, will be exposed to this kind of technology as well. Robotics is a major part of what we do as well, and when you finish this session, you'll be getting a tour of the Festo facilities. We'll be able to see some real world mobile robots that we use to train our students on. As well as you'll get a chance to see some of the computer systems that we do use, the PLCs and so on. You'll get a chance to see those as well. And of course, air conditioning and refrigeration. The degree in artificial intelligence and computer systems is a relatively new degree, but it's a very important one. Nobody can deny that AI is going to be, is now, and is going to be a major part of our lives. And in fact, it is going to change our lives so much that a lot of careers are going to disappear. New careers are going to come in place. And it's going to be a real disruptive element in our lives. So on one hand, we will benefit from AI, but on another hand, it's going to disrupt our lives a lot. And this is something that is here to stay. So what we are doing here, we are trying to move ahead of the game locally by training our population in this particular discipline so that we are not left behind. Because at the end of the day, this is going to be a great influencer in our lives. So the students throughout this 4-year year, they will go through the basics computer science courses that you would generally do in a computer science program. But then they will specialize heavily in certain areas like neural network. You would hear terms thrown around like deep learning and that kind of stuff. They will go through all of that. They would then look at applications of AI in robotics, how to design robots and control them using human-like intelligence. They will also look at designing things like chatbots, those Siri's and Alexa and that kind of stuff. So they would literally design systems like those. They would also design large language model systems like ChatGPT and the whole group. So they'll go through the full design of how those systems are built from scratch. So when they leave this program, they're at a level that they can actually go into industry and hold their own. And we're expecting that in the not too distant future, we'll develop a cadre of persons locally that can actually take Jamaica into the future where this kind of technology is concerned. So pretty much, we can skip this slide. So these students, when they finish their program, they can work pretty much in any area of computer science, but especially we also stress things like computer security, because this is a major issue for us as well. Most people would have either heard or experienced issues with, people hacking into their systems, whether it be in your bank account, whatever, and so on. So we teach them how to design software that can protect against this system. Interesting part of it, though, is that we also teach them how to actually hack into this system. Because if you're going to be able to protect, you also need to know how the persons who you are protecting the system from actually are able to hack into the system. Of course, we also have to stress on them that, the knowledge you gain here is not something that you just go out there and and used to create terror for other people. But from an ethical standpoint, you use this information to protect the systems you're working with. And these are just some of the areas, career paths that these students find employment in. Computer engineering and cybersecurity, AI and machine learning, computer engineering, and so on. So let's move. Now the Marine Biotechnology program is the other program, the final program on this list. And it involves the use of aquatic or marine resources to solve problems and develop useful products and services. Note that Jamaica is an island state surrounded by sea, and also we have a very large territorial waters, both north and south of Jamaica. And we also earn a large part of our livelihood from the sea. Captain spoke a lot about training persons for that environment. While we don't train persons for the navigation and the engineering side of it, in this program, they look at how we can use the resources from the sea to help us in terms of our livelihood, as well as how we can protect the environment. So a large part of it deals with environmental protection as well. There's a lot of products that we harness from the sea that are used in pharmaceuticals. So beside the regular fish, lobsters, and so on that people would take from the sea, there are also certain microorganisms that exist in the marine environment that is crucial to the pharmaceutical industry, etc. As well as tourism is one of our major, in fact our largest foreign exchange earner. And so it's very important that we protect our marine environment because it's a major income earner for us. Now, these are some of the careers spin-off from that graduates from this program can actually enter. Agrobiotechnologies, and very important, we have an agro-processing industry in Jamaica that is very diverse. Most of the companies tend to be small to medium-sized, but there is a lot of areas there for research and development, and so we, as well as for expansion, so graduates from this program will have a lot to offer to those industries. These are just pictures of students carrying out their laboratory work in the lab. And this, well, just before I close off, just one final thing. The Ministry of Education offers 100 scholarships, full scholarships that is, to persons who are pursuing engineering programs at the Caribbean Maritime University. And let me repeat, 100 full scholarships. So if you have any students who want to do engineering, just tell them that they can come here, and I'll take the liberty of saying that they can do it for free. So over the years, we have tried to see if we can max out that 100 scholarships. So let this year be one of the years that we can get that all 100 scholarships. So tell your students they don't have to pay. All right? Once they decide to do engineering here. All right, so I'm now at the end of my presentation. All the best, and looking forward to see you on the tour.
Thank you so much. For those who are just joining us, welcome. For those who are just joining us in the room, welcome. We are excited to have you. All right, so we are jumping into the presentation from the Faculty of Shipping and Logistics. Now, as the president mentioned, it is our largest faculty and it has some exciting programs there. So I am going to invite the representative from the faculty to make their presentation at this time. While we make them welcome, please remember that you are able to get some refreshments at the back. And if you haven't done so, please sign our registration form. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. Welcome to all the guidance counselors. We're very happy to see you as we know that you are impacting the schools, and we're looking forward to the students that are coming from each and every one of your institutions. So as it was alluded to earlier that the shipping and logistics faculty is the largest, we are going to just introduce you to some of the programs and the offerings that are there. First and foremost, the dean from the nautical studies mentioned about the shipping, and all the cadets would be going to sea and all of that aspect. Now, Mr. McCarthy came and he spoke about the engineers. And they are going to be vibrant, new innovations and everything. For logistics, we are present in every single organization, in every single industry. So let us see, as it was said, we are the largest faculty, and that must be for a reason. So these are the programs that are offered. Logistics and supply chain management, the customs program, which is now, as the president would have said, border operations and management. International shipping is not a direct program. Well, it's a program, but it's not from it's not in itself entirely wholesome. Port management, cruise, shipping and marine tourism, and the Center for Security, Counterterrorism and Non-Proliferation. Now, what is offered at CMU is in the shipping and logistics program, there's 2 years, and the president would have said it earlier, 2 plus 2. There's 2 years that is offered where everyone would come in and they would do that 2 years, and they would gain the logistics base. And then they will major in either international shipping, port management, or they will go after cruise, shipping, and marine tourism. The standalone program there is the border operations and management. That's a full 4-year program that is offered. Center of Security also is a full program. So it's just a logistics base with the major for the international and port management and cruise shipping. All right, let us look at the job offerings in logistics. Now this is massive, so I'm just gonna go through a few of them. Logistics coordinator in most industry, persons are in these industries and these organizations, they are doing logistics work, but it is not noted as logistics. They are doing some things, and when they come to CMU and realize what they are actually doing, they realize that they are doing logistics. All right? So the logistics coordinator monitors movements of goods and material right throughout the supply chain. The supply chain is starting from the raw material, and it goes right through the production systems, right until it gets to the end user, us, the customer. All right, so there's an impact in each organization that you will move from the raw material stage, the development stage, the start, the beginning, and you move right through until you get the product through manufacturing, production, warehousing, inventory, all of those, until it reaches the final consumer, which is normally us. All right, supply chain manager, person who is going to manage that process. Warehouse manager oversees operation in all of the warehouses, and warehouses are all around for storage of goods and any products that might be needed within the actual industry or in the organization to assist in the production of their end product that they need. Distribution manager, this is the person who's going to manage the operations now after the product has been made and produced to get it out to the different places, maybe a depot, maybe to the direct end users. One moment, please. Okay, so the demand planner, person within the organization, it is always very important that you know where you're going. You know what happened the previous year, so you want to know how you can proceed, what you need to do. And so the demand planner is somebody who will look at historical data, maybe from not only your organization, but maybe from another successful organization, compare and analyze all the data, and then they can come up with something that is going to be impressive, either some addition to the product, improvement on the product, or the process of getting the product to you. There is freight broking, customer broker, basically almost in the same vein. As you know, custom brokers are very important to you getting goods in and out of the organization, right? From the port and otherwise. Now let us look at international shipping. As we said earlier, international shipping is after the 2 years that you would have done in the logistics, the DISL program, then you're now going to specialize in international shipping, all right? Shipping agent is one. Persons who represent the principals of these vessels that the cadets would be working on. So the shipping agents would be in a particular country, say Jamaica, or in town, and they would handle all of the coordination. When the vessel gets in port, they would handle the day-to-day operation, make sure that everything is in place for them, come in with the pilots, go out with the pilots, and also any services that are necessary to ensure that their stay is successful. We have the port operations manager, and that is the person who is on the port itself, maybe KFTL, Kingston Wharves, and they direct the overall operations, the day-to-day operations. Logistics coordinator, as the name suggests, is a person who makes it happen. As you know, the supply chain is the overall thing from raw material to the end user, but logistics is at every point. So there's logistics, not just as encapsulated in the thing, but at every point, because what logistics does is that it ensures that everything is done efficiently and improvements are made. So at each point, if you have a node that is moving from, for example, the complete supply chain, it's moving from one point. If you have at each point efficiency being achieved, then you know that overall everything will be good, right? So what logistics does, it irons out any hiccups, any hurdles that you might have at each of these nodes. So the coordinator is somebody who's not going to focus on that and ensure that it happens every time. Jobs, again, custom broker, as we said earlier, maritime lawyers in international shipping, who deals with the interaction between the international principals and also the local agents and everyone. They will take care of all of the scenarios that are necessary, and anything that might come up, they will ensure and deal with that. Port security officers are very important to the whole matter of security. They are located primarily on terminals, and they ensure that the safety and the security of not only the vessel operators and so on, but also the port users, regular persons who might go on the port to either do business or to participate in some form of activity. Continuing, a lot of jobs in international shipping, freight forwarding, normally based in another country, can be local because it allows you, this person will allow you to export or import goods, and they will just take care of all of the necessaries, and you don't have a problem. You just pay, and they will do all the necessary movements. So they will do all of the handling, make sure the transportation from door to door, it reaches you, and you get your goods safely. And we talk about the logistics coordinator already. So let us now look at jobs in port management. As you can see, port management is a specialized, again, base 2 years in logistics, and then you go to your major in port management. The director, manager, and normally entering, CMU students entering, you're not going to just enter right at the top, right? But because of your knowledge and what you would have gained, you will enter at a level that is above basic, and you can work your way up based on your interest. Because while you're on the port, you can become the manager, you can become the operations manager, or you can be maybe the warehouse or some facility manager. Terminal operations manager, the persons who are the one who direct the vessel. The vessels are here, they are on the ground, ensuring that everything that is to be discharged or imported comes off the vessel. What is to be loaded, they will ensure that is also done. Port planner, these are very, very important persons. They work closely with the chief officers of the vessels, and they ensure that the plans, the cargo plans, as you would have heard Captain mention, the cargo plans are done perfectly so that there is no re-handling of cargo in any port. Everything is placed in their right location. So when you reach the next port, they can be imported or they can be discharged from the vessel without shifting around a lot of containers, which will cause time and money. It takes money to lift the containers, and it takes time to do the work. All right, so just to avoid that, you have a port planner that will ensure. The harbor master is somebody who also comes up through the port management aspect. They will get additional training from possibly the port authority, but they would have gotten the base from us here at CMU. Cargo and freight managers in all of our industries, the warehouses, the port, the wharves, they have persons who manage this operation. They ensure that whatever is manifested and comes into the country, they will check and make sure that it is exactly what it's supposed to be, along with customs. Customs will be right there with them to make sure that the weight is correct and the freight that is being charged is correct, and also the dimension and everything, and it is the correct quantity of goods, and it is the correct type of goods. Port security manager is someone who oversees the overall operations of the safety and security on the terminals. They would ensure that all the protocols in terms of you coming on is okay, your IDs are up to date, you have legitimate businesses on the actual terminal. Then we go to career in the Bachelor's of Forensic Science. Now this faculty, this department or program, this program came over to the faculty most recently, and they have been doing excellent. There's a lot of career path, analytical chemist, biomedical scientist, scientific laboratory technician, police detective, for those who want to go in that direction, forensic scientists, toxicologists. These are some of the job or career path that exist coming out of this degree. Then we have the cybersecurity and digital forensic. Security admins, somebody who is going to be the administrator in your organization. In each company, once you're doing any businesses like you have to move goods, it is good to have a security manager. Because once something is available to be taken, somebody will just take it up. Even if they don't even know what it's for, they will take it up. So you need somebody to administrate all of that and to ensure that it is not, or that does not happen. Cybersecurity, software developers, information and security analysis, those are some of the job opportunities coming out of this degree. Then we go to the BSc in Security Admin and Management, the SAMS program, which is the heartbeat of this faculty. These are some of the offerings, basically the same, but just that they get more intense training. This is also 4 years, right? These are 4-year programs. So we should have changed this to border operations and management, but this is the customs program where it gives you, and this is a standalone 4-year program from start. They don't do the 2+2. And this program gives the students all of the necessary knowledge about what custom does, what immigration does, what does the freight forwarders and all those persons do. And these are some of the career opportunities: to be a custom broker, to be a clerk. Usually you can start at the clerk, but you can move up based on your qualification and your knowledge. Freight clerk, dispatch clerk, immigration officers, customs officer. Quite a number of our students are working in customs. I was in Montego Bay coming in, and a student was there to greet me. Sir, I was surprised they were working as customs officers in Montego Bay. Some are working in Norman Manley, and also immigration officer. I went to Pica to do some business. My daughter's passport, and somebody called me out of the line. I was surprised. Them says, Mr. Lane, I didn't even recognize the person because she left here about 3 years ago. And I went to her and she said, you don't remember me? And I said, kinda. But she said, what are you doing today? And I said, I'm trying to get my daughter's passport. And if you go to Pica now, I can tell you, you're moving from tent to tent to tent. You waste your whole day. Just put away a day if you're going to get your passport. And she just took me out of the line, took my documents and said, sir, just sit over there, I'll soon come. And the rest is history. I got it back 2 weeks after. I didn't spend about half an hour in that place. And other persons were looking at me, but they don't know the connection. So it is good you can get jobs in these places, and then it plays out beneficial to us as workers or lecturers who would have impacted your life, and you're going to do something for us one day. So we're looking forward to all the students who want to go into all these areas, right? Oops. Cruise. Now, this presentation, I would have much preferred to be done by one of my colleagues, Miss Myrna Ellis. She's very passionate about this. So I hope I can do it some justice. So cruise shipping and marine tourism it has developed over the years in CMU. Started out shady, but it has developed. And as you know, this is a part of the 2+2 program, so you do 2 years and get a logistic knowledge, and then you can major in cruise shipping and marine tourism. Now, this is, it has a vast, and as I think it was Mr. McCarthy would have mentioned, our captain, that the cruise shipping or tourism is, I think it was captain, one of our major foreign exchange earners. And so we're looking forward to students from some persons from out of the urban areas, right? the rural areas, because a lot of persons who are here, they don't go towards the cruise. A lot of persons want to do logistics. But there's something about the cruise shipping, and it has a market. It's there. As you can see, cruise directors. I have students who did the 2+2, so I met them in logistics, and they did the major in cruise. And they send me pictures, and they're all over the world, and a lot of vessels, and just basking, enjoying themselves, right? And so you have excursion managers, you have the shore-based persons who might not want to go on the sea. Captains talk a lot about the sea, but there are some persons who want to be shore-based, while others who want to go on the cruise vessels and work. So there's a variety of possibility when it comes to cruise shipping and marine tourism, where you can get involved. It is a very interesting, and it is growing, and all we can do is just give you the options. And if you come with a mindset, don't be distracted because some courses might seem a little bit more difficult. If that is a career path, stick to it, right? Stick to it. So this should take me to the end of our presentation. I thank you very much for listening. I hope I would have shared enough, and looking forward to see some of your students soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lane. Very informative presentation. So that brings us to the end of our faculty presentations. And guidance counselors, I hope you've been taking notes, because there is a question and answer segment. So if you have any questions, jot them down. We will take them in a little while. So as I said before, the Caribbean Maritime University is big on doing things that are not traditionally done, and that is a part of our blue ocean philosophy, which essentially states that we have our own lane, and we're making that lane very big, very large, and we're occupying spaces. So based on all three of the faculty presentations, you can see that we're not just sea-based, we're land-based as well. And all of the careers that you can think of, or all of the places and industries that you can think of, CMU has degree programs to offer so that persons are able to function in those areas. All right? So one of the biggest questions that students have is, how do we get money to come here? Because we are so specialized, and we talk about all of the innovation and the equipment and all of those things that we have. So it might cost them a pretty penny, right? However, what the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering alluded to earlier is the fact that we have scholarships and a lot of financial aid available. So we want to jump right into that presentation now. So we're going to talk about money. How do we finance all of these exciting programs? And, how do we get students to come free of cost? So we're going to invite the representative to come and speak on financial aid, scholarship opportunities, and our payment plans.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited to have you here this morning, especially our students and our guidance counselors in this room, and also for those of you who are joining us online. We welcome you. All right, so I'm just going to go right into my presentation, and today I'll be talking to you about scholarship opportunities here at the CMU, financial aid and payment plans. All right, so just to give you some insight or a little information about us. So we are located in the office of the University Registrar, right? That's the Office of Student Affairs. And I can be found in the registry area. So you can also call, visit us, and you will find us. All right, so we oversee the execution of internal and CMU managed scholarships and awards, and also we process scholarships for external donors. All right, just to give you our objectives for today, and I've already laid out them, scholarships, payment planned, and financial aid. All right, so for the CMU managed scholarships, we have 6. All right, so I'm just going to list them, and most of the requirements are the same for the donors, so I won't spend a lot of time repeating them, and you'll also be able to see them on screen. But for most of the donors, the requirements are the same. All right, so for New Fortress Energy Scholarship, all right, so first you'd have to be full-time registered student in an undergraduate program. They accept application for new students. So once you have received an acceptance letter from the CMU, all right, New Fortress Energy is here for you. So you just need to have your acceptance letter. They require a few documents, and I'm not going to repeat them all, such as, for example, your CXCs, your CAPES, also for returning students, but I'm focusing on you for today. You know, when you get the New Fortress Scholarship, it's renewable once you maintain a GPA of 3.0. So when you come to CMU, just try and work hard. You know, every year we'll send the reports to the donors, and once they see that, you know, you have performed continually at an extremely high standard, they will renew the scholarships. All right, so I mentioned the acceptance letter, be at an age under 25 years old, essay. Not all the donors ask for an essay, but sometimes they ask us for, they give a particular topic, and they'll ask you to write a 1-page essay on how you feel about a particular topic. All right, so for Caribbean Shipping Association, the Monica Silvera Scholarship, undergraduate students, I didn't mention the value for New Fortress. Let me back up a bit. It's up to 4,000 USD. For the CSA, it's up to 2,500 USD. So please note, guidance counselors, the dates for application and deadline. For most of the donors, they start application, they're about like April, May, June, July. So please take note of the dates. All right. For the ACMF, just recently some of our students would have been overseas with the president at an award ceremony for the ACMF. So they grant scholarship value 750 USD up to 1,000. All right, for returning students at an undergraduate program. For some donors, they specifically focus on students within STEM, for example, the engineering programs. All right, and note the deadline. You'll see the requirements there. As I said, most of them are the same. For the transcripts for our returning students, you don't have to pay and get the transcripts. We provide them, all right, for you. For CMA, CGM Jamaica Limited, they are one of our newest donors, all right? So recently they have awarded students US 1,000, right? So it's good going. Just one of the students who have received the scholarships was like, so when can I apply for the next one? So she's really, you know, waiting. And I must say for the Marine and Nautical Studies students, they apply for every single scholarships. So I'm just encouraging you students and guidance counselors, just tell the students, just apply. Don't say, all right, I apply for one, just send out the applications, all right? Okay, for the next internal managed scholarship, we have the Embassy of People's Republic of China. All right, their value scholarship, JMD, $200,000. Just recently we did a handover ceremony here, which was last year late. Of course, so a student benefited from that scholarship. So we basically, we have 6, as I mentioned. We have the PATH program through the Ministry of Labor. All right, so if you are here as a PATH beneficiary, the PATH program, they also assist tertiary students with scholarships. So through the Office of Student Affairs, you can find out more about same, and also online, or you can visit a PATH office. You'll get information. Ministry of Labor Social Security Office, you'll get information about the scholarship value, 100,000 towards your tuition, and please note the application dates. All right, so
We're here to give you more information and just to give you some insights as to how we process the internal managed scholarships. So first, for example, each scholarship has its own application form, all right? So you can either visit the Office of Student Affairs and they'll provide same, or they're online, all right? So you get the application form, you download and complete same. The student submits the application form to our offices, and of course, I will ensure that I'll check to see if you have submitted all that is required by the donors. Ensure it's completed okay. We'll vet the application, and there's a committee, Scholarship and Awards Committee, will submit the applications to the committee, and the shortlisted applicants or candidates, they will be sent through a submission to the donors, who will in turn look at the scholarships, the applications or the submission, and make their final decision and submit same to us. And of course, we'll follow up with the students, give them further information, because from time to time, they're anxious and they check with us. All right, so shortlisted candidates will be interviewed by the donors, and that's not for all the donors. For example, the Chinese Embassy, they don't interview, the New Fortress, they'll interview, so it all depends, all right? So just move fast, or a little quicker for the external scholarship, just to give you some information so that you say, all right, if you see these institutions or organizations advertising, you need to look at them as well, because sometimes they specifically list on their website that they look at recognized universities, and of course CMU is one of those universities. For the Ministry of Education and Youth, you have the MST VET scholarships, so you can look out for those. All right, there's no set fee, fund for the scholarship, and that's why I have undetermined. So look out for the Ministry of Education and Youth. You can check their websites, the information are there, and of course feel free to reach out to us. We will provide you this information. All right, same Ministry of Education and Youth, you have the JAMVET. All right, that's another scholarship there for students to look for. Also the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. So if your parents are public sector worker, they can also look at this scholarship to see how the students can benefit. So guidance counselor is information. The Grace Kennedy Foundation, specifically the Louis Fred Kennedy Scholarship, they have value up to $450,000 per annum. All right, and the requirements, as I said, most of them, they are the same. All right, some of them require you have a photograph, a passport size photograph or ID, but for most of them, the requirements are the same. Okay. Sagicor Foundation Scholarship. They offer scholarship for undergraduate students. All right, and some of these scholarships, they are renewable as well. And the Carreras Jamaica Limited bursary offers $50,000 to $100,000 Jamaican dollar. All right, the deadline for application is there, and also information. You'll find these on the website as well. And don't worry, I'll give you the information if you so ask for it. Victoria Mutual Building Society, it's another external managed scholarship. And J. Ray and Neville Foundation, all right, for tertiary level students. For example, like the J. Ray and Neville scholarship, you have some of the donors, they require some involvement within the community and participation, extracurricular activities. So, for example, the J. Ray and Neville, they have listed the locations for which they are looking for students. For example, they have the Spanish Town Road in Kingston because they have an operations there, and they are out in Clarendon, Appleton Estate, right, St. Elizabeth. All right, so just a little update there. Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Tertiary Education Grant. All right, so the grants help with, your little book and supply and other little things. All right, so the JMMB, Joan Duncan Foundation Scholarships, also available to students. They have their specific requirements, eligibility here. You should be pursuing a degree in engineering and architecture and other things. All right, please take note again of the deadlines so students can start applying early. Quartz Jamaica, Dare to Dream Scholarship.
All right, so the value 250 to 400, and Jamaica Flour Mills Foundation scholarships. So these are other scholarships that your students can apply for, because once they have the acceptance letter to say that they're attending a university to pursue an undergrad degree, right, they can provide that and other required information. Jamal Go Community, right, scholarship, tertiary level students. So, as I said, most of these requirements are the same. The Jamaica Energy Partners Scholarship and Grants, they are looking for students within the particular communities, all right, where their plants are located, Kingston and St. Andrew, as well as St. Catherine. The National Commercial Bank Foundation, just recently, I must say, NCB had called us. My director might remember very well, and they asked us, we're looking for some students who are really in need. And they just asked us to provide 10 names, and we supplied the names. Of course, we would have provided some supporting documents, and the entire 10 students, they received a grant of $150,000. I'm sure that can go far away. All right, First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union, Ronald Mason Scholarship, right? The requirements here, university students entering second to final year, and it's because they need to see the GPA of 3.50, all right? And the information is there regarding the deadline, etc. So for the external managed scholarship, the process is that students will they'll visit the websites for the external donors, and they look to see where they can download the application form and, of course, provide the necessary supporting documents that is required. And they'll complete same and upload the documents. I was looking at one recently, well, just yesterday for Grace Kennedy. You complete the application and upload the necessary documents. And, of course, they will follow up with the students. And, of course, you'll have to provide things that you might request from the CMU Office of Student Affairs, such as a transcript. All right, and the donors will inform the students. We internally, for example, myself as the scholarship coordinator, what I do is to assist the students by providing these scholarship advertisement to our marketing department. So they send out the emails to our students. We'll post them on our websites, and we'll also put them on notice boards across the university. In every way we can find for the students to get the information. So I'll just list briefly the tuition fees payment plan that we have available. All right, so currently it's a 4-part payment plan. So students will pay, first semester they'll make 2 payments, and the second semester they'll make another 2 payments. All right, so for the first payment, the students will pay 30% of the annual fee plus the full auxiliary fee. All right, this is usually, it's due in September. And for the second payment, they'll make a payment of 20% of the annual fees, usually due in October. And the second semester now, another 2 payments. Third payment is 30% of the annual fee plus the auxiliary fee due in January, and the final payment at 20% of the annual fee due in February. All right, so students just have to try and fulfill their obligation by trying to ensure that, you know, they fulfill their end of the bargain. Any concerns, any problems, go and talk to the Office of the Treasury. They will listen to you, and you know, you can also let your parents talk to the Office of the Treasury. Someone is always there listening to hear. And the tuition fees are available on the university website. Okay, so the students can go look for the list of program of interest, and the fees are there. Okay, so for financial aid, we have the Earn and Learn program. This is in the Office of Student Affairs. You can also visit the Student Affairs Office to get further details. So the program allows students to work on campus. While they work on campus, they receive a stipend and gain valuable experience. All right, so each student works 25 hours per week at an hourly stipend of $300 during the week and $350 on weekend. All right, for the Special Assistance Lunch Program, this assists students who demonstrate financial need with meals each day. All right, once they are scheduled to have classes. And the application opens the first week of each semesters. We'll have the application forms for you, so if you need same, just reach out to us. So our contact details, all right, so that's my name at the top, Millie Moyston. I'm currently scholarship coordinator, and my manager, who is at the front here in the blue, Mr. Ricardo Marriott, he's the manager for recruitment admissions. Our emails are there, and we'll provide further information. We have the scholarships unit email address, or extension numbers are there, and our telephone number. We're looking forward to seeing you, or providing the necessary advice and information to the students so they can reach out to us. We're available every little make a muckle and one cocoa, full basket. So we're looking forward to have you. Any questions just now? If no, I just want to thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Ms. Moyston. So as you can see, lots of options are available for scholarships. The students do not have to finance it on their own. There are lots of available scholarships. Encourage them to take them up, utilize them. Free money I give away, don't make it miss you, all right? So we've talked about academics, we've talked about finances. What are the other things that CMU offers? So here to talk to us about sports, clubs, and society is a representative from the Office of Student Affairs. Now, we at CMU believe that students should be wholesome. We're not just focused on academics, but also personal development. And so we encourage them to take part in all of the different campus activities that we have. So we're gonna hear from this lovely lady to my left about all of the activities that happen on campus each year. Make her welcome.
Specially invited guests streaming online and here at our Festo Fact Center, staff members, production team, and students, a hearty welcome and good morning to you all. I'll be representing the Office of Student Services, who is the fun department. So we're in charge of basically nourishing our students outside of the classroom. So we fostered the campus culture through various welfare and development programs. So you might have heard about the University of Choice for Global Leaders, and you might not know where this saying came about. So most of our activities here on campus are spearheaded by students. So everything is student-led, and one second, I think I'm going faster than my PowerPoint. Yes, so we are the University of Choice for Global Leaders as we mold our students into being student leaders. So not just any dibby-dibby leader, but leaders who lead well. So we offer the below to students. Ms. Moyston mentioned the Earn and Learn programs, which involve students being interns on campus, so they work in the various departments by filing, in the computer labs, in the library as assistants and stuff like that. They work for 25 hours each week, and they are given a stipend of $300 per hour on weekdays and $350 per hour on weekends. We also have the Student Assistance Lunch Program, which involves students getting a lunch benefit on days that they're scheduled to have classes. We also have the Path Bursary Processing. So we basically assist students in properly filling out this form. So we ensure that all Path students who are qualified, so once you have the 2.5 GPA, we ensure that you properly fill out these forms to ensure that you actually get the benefit when it's disbursed in February. We also provide career coaching by our student involvement and experience officers. So they give students the required advice into getting the proper jobs that you may heard Captain Newman mentioned, Mr. McCarthy mentioned, Mr. Lane mentioned, all of the beautiful jobs with the $7,000 US. The student involvement and experience officers actually coach and mold these students. We also have student mentorship program, which involves our industrial leaders, So our industrial leaders come on board and make time for all our students, and they mold them and provide proper guidance as to how to transition from CMU to the work world. Counseling services. As your guidance counselor, you are familiar with this. Our counselor, Ms. Tina Turner, is actually the university counselor at CMU, and she provides services to all our students. We also have community engagement initiatives by our community engagement officer. Recently, we had a painting session at the Harborview Primary School, and we have several others coming up, so our community engagement officer will speak to you more about that. We provide our students assistance in finding suitable accommodations. So we have two types of accommodations. We have internal housing, which involves students living on the dormitory at Admiralty House in Port Royal, as well as external housing options, which involves landlords registering with the university, putting their name on the list at a small fee, and then we promote their housing options to our students. And then they are located in the Harborview area. Students may wonder, how do I get to school from the Harborview area? We have shuttle systems, so students don't pay bus fare. They go to the roundabout, walk from whichever housing they would have chosen, go to the roundabout, and then there's a shuttle bus in the morning starting as early as 7 a.m. to pick up students and transport them to not only the main campus, but our campus in Port Royal. We also provide general assistance, so students may be having a challenge with whatever they might have challenges with, and they find comfort in speaking to us at the Office of Student Services, and we provide that nurturing, what's the right word? So where there are mommies and daddies away from home, where they're caregivers, so they find comfort in speaking to us, and we love. When you do the campus tour, you'll see the Office of Student Services, and I can guarantee you there will be a lot of students there talking to the different officers that are in office today. All right, so you're going to hear a song. It's the Blue Ocean song. I'm not hearing it. On campus, we have basketball, cheerleading, football, netball, rugby, and volleyball. This picture is of our cheerleaders who recently won the tertiary arm of the JamFit competition that was held at the Woolmer's Auditorium. This is our This is our football team. They are the minor league champions for Jamaica. Thank you. I'm not sure what's... Right, so this is our basketball team. To my right, to your left, and to your left, to your right, my left, it's our netball team. All right, so clubs. So I mentioned earlier that clubs are spearheaded by student leaders. We have service clubs on campus, religious clubs, political clubs, sporting groups, social groups, and shared interest groups. I will delve deep into the different clubs. So for student chapters, I think I'm pressing too fast. 1 second. So for student chapters, we have the Women in Maritime Caribbean student chapter. We have the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers student chapter, also called the CMU Robotics Club. Mr. McCarthy mentioned engineering scholarships earlier, and I can boast the Spartan pride this morning because earlier this week we had a quiz competition, and can you believe that our robotics club actually made the buzzer that we used? Each team could press the button, It ignited a light, and then it had a sound for us to recognize which team was supposed to answer. And this was overseen by our electrical lab tutors. And when I say I was extremely amazed by the buzzer system, because my first instinct was to put it on the procurement system. And then I'm like, Went to the electrical lab, and the electrical lab said, our students can indeed do this. And they did it in less than 3 days. Can you believe it? Less than 3 days. We also have the Jamaica Institution of Engineers, which is another student chapter here on campus. For religious groups, we have the CMU Young Christian Network. We have the International Youth Fellowship Group, which is the IYF. We have shared interest groups, which is the Founders Forum. This club is particularly for entrepreneurs on campus. So they meet, they discuss how to register their businesses, they promote themselves among each other and to the student population. There's the French Club, there's the CMU Literary Arts, Public Speaking and Debating Club, which actually came in the top 6 on January 4th at UTEC at a competition that they entered. We have the CMU Tutorial Club, which involves the students actually tutoring other students in areas which they are weak. We have the CMU Scientista chapter. We have the CMU Environmental and Sustainability Club. We also have service clubs. So for the students in the room that know about the Joy Movement, the Key Club, the Tourism Club, we also have those clubs, which is the CMU Rotaract, the CMU Optimist, the Circle K International. We also have social groups, which involves the CMU Sports Vibe, who is charged with promoting all the various sporting disciplines that we have here on campus. The CMU Entertainment Society that push campus vibes and campus activities. We have sporting groups, the CMU Chess Club, the CMU Table Tennis Club, the CMU Fencing Club, as well as the leadership groups, which are the CMU Leads and the League of Maritime Leaders, which is a G2K. So this is a photo of the Caribbean Maritime University student representatives at the Pan American University's debating championship some time ago. There's a picture of the Scientista group. We also have a photo to my right of a beach cleanup that was held in September. We also have a photo of the CMU Entertainment Society at the Maxfield Park Children's Home. We have a photo of the Rotaract Club with their banner, as well as at a tree planting initiative. We have the Women in Maritime student chapter at the bottom right. At their first meeting, they recently started the student chapter. We have the Circle K International at our recently held Clubs Expo. We have the Women in Maritime group again here at their Orange Day for domestic violence. Does anyone have any questions for me? No questions? So if you have no questions, here ends my presentation. I look forward to seeing at least half of these students in the room at CMU in September. We truly await you, and we expect great things of you being leaders if you come to the CMU.
Thank you so much. So, as I said, lots of things happening on campus, lots of things happening at the CMU. What I want to mention is that even in our clubs and societies or sports, they're very different than what you would typically see in a university. I mean, where else in Jamaica can you go to learn fencing? Tell me, where else? Where else does, you know, cheerleading and we're coming first? Nobody can boast those things, right? Come to the CMU, that's all I'm gonna say. All right, so here to give us a charge this morning is our university counselor. Now I'm gonna keep talking until she swallows because I caught her in the middle of of chewing. So, Miss Tina Turner, you can finish, but I wanted to make her welcome as she comes. She is awesome at what she does, and as Miss Aiken says, lots of people flock to student services because of the kind of support that they give our students. So she's coming at this time to give us a charge on the role of the counselors and how they support student success.
Esteemed guidance counselors, vice presidents, directors, deans, other members of staff, production team, students, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right. Don't wake up now. All right. We're here. So today, I'm here very brief. My colleagues who know me knows I'm a talker. So I have my 10 minutes on my clock and I'm going. So today we're here to talk about a vital cornerstone, academic success, and how the role of the counselor in this is so intricate, because counselors are the fabric that helps students on their educational journey. The counselor stands as a guiding force, shaping destinies, fostering resilience, and navigating paths towards triumph. And in layman terms, counselors are everybody at the school. If you can remember when you were in primary school, if you fell and you hit your knee, who do you go to get first aid? The guidance counselor. If as a female you are having that time of the month, who do you go to? The guidance counselor. You didn't have any breakfast this morning, who do you go to? The guidance counselor. Your mother beat you last night, and this morning she warned you, and you didn't want to go to class. Who do you go to? The guidance counselor. The guidance counselor in the school is ubiquitous, right? In everything. And because you are this person, we are here to say thank you. Thank you for what you do, because it takes passion, it takes courage, and it takes more than training to be all this to your students and more. Beyond the job description, we can look extensively at the job description of a guidance counselor, but at the end of the day, we can narrow it down to say that you are the guardians, the cheerleaders, the motivators, the financier, because we know when children don't have lunch, it comes out of whose pocket? All right. And when you do this, there is no reimbursement that is coming back from the government for all the monies that you would have paid. There are some of you who would have even started the college application for many of your students and even helped to pay the tuition that they would have gotten their footing that they need. Give our guidance counselors a round of applause. And so recognizing this impact that you have made upon the lives of these individuals, this is why they come back. And they say, sir, thanks, because if I name for you, you know which part more to reach. And as a guidance counselor who have worked in the inner city schools, we know far too well that by the time some of them get to 10th grade, school is no longer a thing for them, because they are on to just survival, just about what they need in order to get from point A to point B. So guidance counselors, we know that the struggle is real, and that is why CMU has requested your presence here today to tell you of our offerings and to remind you that the job that you do is not to be taken lightly, and to remind you that the job that you do is quintessential to every success that Jamaica is going to be having from this point forward. So what you've heard here today, don't keep it to yourself. Ensure that every student, even the ones who have not yet decided, because we know how to help them to decide, we are asking you, use this information, guide them, so that their end will be a good end for us. And I am closing. So, a well-equipped counselor is a vital counselor. A counselor who cannot help himself or his or her students is unproductive. And so I say the information you gather here today will not just help you and help those students, because they're going home to tell somebody who's going to tell somebody is going to tell somebody. And that's the news that we want. So counselors, continue to care, share, make them aware that CMU is here for them, help them prepare.
Thank you so much. Maybe I should take a course in speech writing, because that motivated me, and I'm not even a guidance counselor, you know? But I just want to reiterate what she said. You are the heart and soul of teaching and learning, and a lot of people really do come to you when they are in need, and you are kind of the guiding light to shine, tell them, to guide them. You know, they come to you, Miss, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I kind of just there. Some of them just pick some random arbitrary subjects, and they say, I don't know, I can't see what I'm going to do with these. And that's why we've brought you here today, to show you that there are lots of other careers available other than the doctor, lawyer, nurse, Indian chief, all of those. As you can see, none of those things are up here, and it was a very extensive list of careers that are available, right? Some of them are new and emerging, which means that they get to innovate while they are a part of that, all right? So I'm not gonna keep you much longer. We are gonna break for lunch at this time, and then when we get back in an hour, we are going to do our campus tour. So you'll see all of the facilities and things that we have been raving about for the past 2 hours. All right, so we get back here for the campus tour in an hour, and then we close out our symposium. Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who are online, we are so sorry that you're gonna miss this exciting part, but we hope that you can make it on our campuses another time. For those who are in the room, lunch will be served at the back of the room. All right, thank you so much for having me. My name is Danique. Have a wonderful rest of afternoon.
Good day, counselors. Lunch will be provided for you in here, okay? So it's not the sandwiches. Lunch will be provided when they're through setting up over their buffet.